guys, my name is Irene. I am a variety content Twitch streamer going by the name of Bubblycorn. There are a lot of benefits to doing a variety content stream, including being fun for both your audience and yourself because you get to do a lot of different things. But with that comes a little bit of logistical complexity to setting up for your streams. It's not just, having your stream set up that's all beautiful and decked out and you just bring yourself to sit on your chair and you can click go live and start streaming. That area that you're streaming from changes. Sometimes I feel like I'm a traveling circus and I have to reset up my tent every single time. So I want to share with you what my stream setup actually looks like. On my last Twitch informational video where I did a full walkthrough of all the equipment, it's the same equipment that I'm using, but the way I set up my scenes and my equipment is slightly different based on what I am going to be streaming. So I'm gonna walk through each of those. And they're all pretty basic, they're pretty bare bone. I don't have colorful overlays or anything like that. Unless it's like a holiday, I'll add some sparkle to it. But I'm hoping that this can provide a foundation for you so that you have some ideas where you can best show what you are streaming, and then you can add your own overlays and animations to it to make it more interesting and your style. So 6 different variety content setups that I'm going to be going through today are cooking, workout, art, gaming, travel, and IRL. And for each of these, I'm going to be showing you guys how all of my equipment is plugged in. Warning, if you're OCD, prepare yourselves because this is just a very quick setup. So it's not gonna be pretty. Wires are gonna be everywhere because it's gonna get cleaned up right after the stream. But I'll show you that nonetheless. And I'm also going to be showing you how to set up the different scenes in each of these different types of streams. So let's go. This is where the streaming box really helps because I just have to make 1 or 2 trips, especially while carrying that giant light. I get a little out of breath every time I go up and down the stairs. By the way, this is what I mean by labeling your wires so that you don't fry your camera. Pink goes to pink. Done. I think that took me a total of, it says on the camera, 6 minutes and 31 seconds. But this is not the end of it. We do have to set up our scenes and make sure our camera angle is good. So that's what we're gonna do next. This is how the streaming setup looks like. Here I've got the ring light. I have the camera behind it. The camera is attached to things. One here, the dummy battery in here is attached to a power source over there, and the HDMI cable is plugged in to the cam link over here to feed into my computer. And then I have an external monitor over here so that I can more easily view my OBS screen and read chat and everything more easily. And that way I can have multiple items up, such as point redemptions on the small screen, and that's connected through this HDMI cable. And then my microphone, the Razer Siren Mini, which I love, he's attached to one of the USB slots. You can just use a regular keyboard or mic slot for that. My MacBook over here is connected through this dual USB-C. It's powered through the cable, which is attached over here. This one is the Ethernet cable, which is attached to Ethernet port over there on the wall. This wire is also a USB 3 slot, and it's connected to this imaginary iPhone up here, where I'm gonna be using it as an overhead camera, and I'll show you how that's set up in a bit. Okay, so this is inside of my Streamlabs OBS. The way I'm setting it up in Streamlabs OBS, you'll probably be able to follow fairly closely in OBS Studio as well, so whichever OBS system you're using. Here I have about 6 scenes. The first one is the starting soon screen, which one of our viewers has put together. When you have an animated starting screen, it, makes the viewers feel like, oh, stream starting soon, we have hype. You can put it in the vibe that you want your stream to be. I like mine to be happy and comfy and a fun place to chill. Usman's captured that very well. You want a starting soon screen, even if it's a default one, just because you want to go live about 5 minutes before the start of the stream where you yourself show up on camera. That way your viewers can get a notification through Twitch that, oh, so-and-so has gone live. And then you're giving them 5 minutes or so to show up for the beginning of the stream. And also it makes sure that everything is like tested, because on very rare occasions, there were times I clicked go live and everything shut down and I had to just restart my computer. The 5 minutes gives you extra time in case something goes wrong, you can resolve it. So starting soon screen, whichever type of stream you're doing, you probably want one ready. The next one I have, which I use as like a secondary screen for all of my streams, is a full screen. I have just very basic elements. It's gonna be my alert box, my chat box, a white box to help the chat box show, and a little sign for today's menu. For the alert box, all you gotta do to add it is you just click add. There's all these different types of widgets and such that you can add. Alert box, where in the world is it? Oh, I'm sorry, it's actually in the essential sources. It's essential. You just click add source. Also for chat box, it's right here within the widgets. Right now I'm gonna be adding my video capture device, add source, add a new source. So I just label whatever the camera is, and then I'll go find my cam link. I'll set it to 1920 to 1080 so that it's the maximum possible resolution. Click done, and then it's, oh my hair. And then because I want the alert box and chat box to show on top of it, I'm gonna drag it down here. And so this is pretty much my setup for my full screen. I have the alert box, which will pop up any alerts of people newly subscribing. It'll pop up sub donations. It'll have TTS alerts. That's all in here. It's a little larger than I usually have it. I think actually it's usually about this size for me. My chat box is over here. For any of these, if you want to change the settings, just double click on the chat box and you can adjust your width and height over here. There's a lot of other things that you can adjust, such as the font, what shows up, etc. I've kept mine fairly default, but it's totally up to you to customize. White box I have there because if you don't have the white box, if you have different colors, such as I have this cooking board and then I have the oven, it's a little hard to see. And chat is a very important part of your stream. They are kind of like half of the fun, right? It's you talking to chat and chat also talking. So I don't know, I like to dedicate a little space for chat so they feel like they have their own like physical little area on the screen. The white box I just very simply created as a PNG file using Photoshop, but wherever you can create a transparent file, create that and you can import it as an image. So you can do add image. And then for today's menu, I usually like to have for cooking streams what I'm cooking over here, because people might join midstream and they're wondering, hey, what are you cooking? And also if you're cooking and going so great, which sometimes happens to me, then at least they can see your inspiration picture so that they know what it's supposed to look like. So yeah, that's for my full screen. So this is usually only my like intro, welcome, chatting with people screen. And for the larger portion of the time, I will use my overhead screen. And my overhead screen is similar components. It is my main camera over here at the very base layer. I have a black box over here. I like to have a little border between my two camera angles. I have a chat box up at the top on my left side and an alert box still in the same area. And I also have today's menu over here. And then my iPhone, I'm going to add right now. The same way you add your camera, you go to video capture device, add source. I'm just gonna label it iPhone, add source. This is my phone. I'm gonna make it the largest possible resolution. Click done. You're going to have to crop this. An easy way to crop on a MacBook is click the option key. While you're clicking the option key, drag to crop. Also, when you're showing your phone, make sure you turn on do not disturb because you don't want any personal information leaked while you're streaming. After that, I'm just gonna unclick the option key, shrink it down. Generally, if you turn on do not disturb, it won't give you alerts, but there is still a off chance that it will show some alerts. So I just like to just show the bottom side of the screen so that even if the alerts show up, it's already cropped off at the top naturally, and so it won't show. And then I just drag the iPhone all the way down right in front of the black box so that the chat box and the alert box is still up top. The iPhone app that I use to show my overhead camera is called Shuttercast. It's a free app and it allows you to have a clean output, so it doesn't show all those settings menus and the record button as your iPhone camera would when you're recording. But it still has a very good auto brightness and auto white balance control, and you can easily switch between the front and back camera with a double tap. Also, the iPhone camera always comes out flipped. I think it's just because it's screen mirroring rather than recording. So you have to click it with 2 fingers. It'll give you the option to transform to flip horizontally or vertically. I use this camera to bring it over to the other side, show some cooking action on the stove. I just simply drag over my primary camera to the right so that it shows me cooking over here. And another way, if I feel like I'm going to be cooking for a longer period of time on the fire, instead of using the stove, I will use like a portable burner and bring it over here so that I could just cook on the fire over here in front of the camera. So that's my cooking setup. Oh shoot, I should have put on an apron. Now we're fully cooking setup. This is my cooking setup. We are back upstairs because now we're going to be setting up for a workout stream. Let me show you my physical setup first. This is my setup. I'm assuming that today I will be playing Ring Fit because I do play that quite frequently on my workout streams. Either I'm doing a Ring Fit or I am doing like a workout YouTube video, which is set up in a similar way. So very similar setup to the cooking stream. My computer is here. My external monitor is there, my mic is here, my camera is here. Everything is plugged in the exact same way, other than the fact that this cord, instead of an overhead camera, I have attached to the Nintendo Switch using the HD60S Plus. If you want more details on how to hook that up, look at my prior hardware walkthrough video, but essentially I just have it plugged where the HDMI cable is plugged into the HD60S Plus game capture card, and that game capture card is plugged in through a USB 3 port right here. Got my ring light over here. I want to generally avoid direct light, so I just turn this up all the way so that it's bouncing off the wall. It's just lighting up the whole space instead of just shining directly onto my face. This is the area where I sit when I'm taking my breaks during the workout. Now let's go to how I set up my scenes. Okay, so just taking you guys through how I set up my scene for workout streams. I have my main camera set up vertically, and this allows me to capture my whole body so that when I'm working out, you can see the top of my hand, the bottom of my hand, doing lunges. The benefit of setting it up this way during a workout stream is, yes, it helps you capture your whole body, but if you angle it properly where you're kind of like actually tilting it upward a little bit, it will make you look longer and taller, except I can't because I need to capture my feet, so it's actually just level for me. So it doesn't have that effect of making me look taller, but yeah, it still captures my whole body. And then when I come up here to talk to the camera, it still captures a good size. I usually have a workout mat set up. That way I can mark out which part is visible on camera. So even though you're not doing something that requires a workout mat, I think it's helpful to have a workout mat set up. Set it up kind of horizontally so that when you're doing lunges and stuff, like people can see movement going on properly. And also I think doing it a little horizontally allows people to make sure that you're working out properly. Like for example, when you're doing lunges, like you want to show that you have 90 degrees. And so now let me show you guys how to add Ring Fit, which is on the Nintendo Switch. Very similar to adding a camera. You're just gonna go click the plus button. You'll click video capture device, add source. add new source. I'll label it switch. This is going to be the game capture card. Click done. Because I have my camera, main camera over here. I have the chat box and alert box. Then I have a black box to be my border. And then I'm just going to copy paste the switch, Command C, Command V. Then I'm going to drag one copy of the switch so that it is behind this fade. This fade is basically just a transparent white box that I had before. So that if I have something behind it, it can create a blur. I take the very base layer of the switch and I enlarge it like this so that it can give you that illusion that your smaller screen is extended. When you go into games such as Ring Fit where there's nice scenery and you're running, having that extended screen I think helps. See, it feels like it's a little enlarged where the path that you're walking is extended. When I am doing the Ring Fit workouts, I do have my AirPods on and have the audio feeding through a multi-output device. Let me just show you how my multi-output device is set up. If I go to audio MIDI, I have a audio device set up where I have multi-output to both SWB audio capture, which is going to allow viewers to listen to this, and simultaneously my AirPod. If you're physically in this room with me, like Dennis was in this room, he wouldn't be able to hear the audio so that you don't hear an echo feeding through the mic. So that's one thing to keep in mind when you're playing a game. You do want to have that additional audio setup. The other half of my workout streams are when I'm watching YouTube videos to learn a dance, to follow through a workout. I'm not going to do that full setup here right now, but it's exactly the same as the Nintendo Switch. Just switch out the Nintendo Switch with another computer. You just plug in the HDMI cable from the game capture card into another computer and play the YouTube video there. And I set it up exactly the same way as a Nintendo Switch. So I have this like primary screen showing the YouTube video, and I also have that YouTube video extended. So this is my workout scene, fairly simple, but I think it does the trick. Onward with our next scene. Okay, so we're still upstairs. We've swiveled around my desk, so we're on the other side of my desk because we are going to be now setting up for a art or a DIY stream. Here is my setup. I have my MacBook over here. I have my external monitor. I have two ring lights. Camera is still flipped sideways because I'm filming this right after our workout stream. Normally I have it horizontal, but I'm actually realizing through this filming that actually putting it sideways would be good. I have an iPad. Everything else is exactly the same. I have the camera hooked up, the power, mic, external monitor, and the only difference that similar to the overhead camera, I have it hooked up to my iPad. Now let us go into creating the scene. If you have scenes created for one purpose that's a similar setup to another, feel free to just recycle that. On the iPad, the app that I use in order to draw is Procreate. It's just a very easy app to use. I'm going to add my iPad. Same process as adding an iPhone. So I'm gonna go to video capture device, add source, add new source. I'm gonna label it iPad. And then my iPad shows up. Okay, done. I'm gonna crop it, click Option, and drag over. So I'm gonna put it behind the black box so that the border is still there. Usually, similar to the cooking video, I have a reference picture if I'm getting inspiration. Yeah, so I can just doodle here. Hello. And everyone will be able to see. So yeah, if you have an iPad, which is part of the reason why I decided to go with the MacBook. If you'd like to see why I got a MacBook, check out my other video on 3 reasons why I got a MacBook. But yeah, this allows me to do art streams this way. I also do DIY kind of like crafting streams where it's not like just digital art on my iPad, it's more of like painting something. In that case, same situation as the cooking stream. I use my iPhone as my overhead camera. Difference is when I'm painting, my overhead camera will be kind of like a behind camera, but yeah, that's how I do my art streams. We are downstairs on my comfy couch for our gaming streams. So the setup is very similar to what we just did for our workout stream because essentially we are
you know, just plugging in a game console through the game capture card, but the scene setup is a little different. Here is the setup. Normally I do have the ring light over here to add extra lighting because when I'm doing my gaming streams at nighttime, it's a bit darker, but similar items that are plugged in. We have the camera plugged in through the cam link over here. We have the power source, we have the mic plugged in, the internet cord, and this is plugged into the game capture card, which is plugged in to my gaming console, in this case the PlayStation. I have something on this end now. The HDMI cable over here is connected to my television over here. Ta-da! So that when I'm playing, I just sit on the couch and essentially I'm playing, I'm streaming, I can read chat over there, but I can watch the game and play the video game through the television. I do use the full screen similar to the cooking stream just to say hello to everyone. If I'm not using something, I can simply just turn it off so that I don't have to delete and recreate that each time. I have another screen called Gameplay. This one, I just basically have the gaming console screen here. I'm gonna bring it to the very bottom. I have a little box for my camera. So how I do that is I have a little black box as a border, and then I'm just going to add my camera as I normally would, add it, and then I'm gonna use the option key to crop it into somewhat of a box. Then I'm just going to minimize it and bring it over here to my frame, and I will just group it together. Grouping it together allows you to move the entire thing around. Once I set the camera, I reset the border to make sure it fits all the way around. The location where you want to set your camera is going to be different every game. I think it's kind of trial and error. You can check out other streamers who have played that game to see where they position the camera, to see where's the best place to put it without being invasive to the game. I should probably zoom in a little bit more because I have a tendency to like kind of back up as I play while I fight, and I end up like this. And the camera is just gonna sit on the top by the chat box and the alert box. Yep, and that is my gameplay setup. And while we are downstairs, I will just show you what I take with me when I travel. I will say I don't get to stream a whole lot when I travel just because the internet speed is not as good as I hoped. If you're gonna stream with your computer, I would say upload speed, try to make it at least like 15 to 20. There's two ways I stream when I'm on the go. One is to IRL stream on my phone, or two is to stream on my laptop. I stream on my laptop when possible because that kind of gives me better visibility into chat and to various other things, so I can interact better, see the stream better, and usually it's just a better viewing experience. I'll just let you guys know what I take with me when I go travel and stream, just so you know what to bring. So what I take with me is my laptop, of course, because I'm going to be using the same OBS system for that. I take my mic because it's fairly portable. I do take the dongle, and then I don't take my camera because I just use my iPhone as my primary camera when I'm traveling. Definitely take the power. So in summary, this is what it will look like. I will have the dongle connected to the power, the mic. This is going to be connected to my iPhone to use as my primary camera. I do take the LAN cable in case I can plug into the router, but I've rarely found instances where I can. So really this is a setup, and then I just go on Wi-Fi. And then for travel streaming, pretty much the content that I stream is either cooking or playing a simple game on the Nintendo Switch, or IRL streaming, which I will show you. But yeah, the key components I take with me are my mic, my laptop, my power block and my power cable for my computer, my dongle, my phone, an iPhone cable, and like a tripod for my iPhone. And that's it. So it's pretty light traveling. Okay, and we finally made our way outside for our final streaming setup, which is IRL streaming. I go with the bare bones, so I don't have a full streaming setup with the additional phone services and things like that. So that's not what I'm going to be giving you, but I'm going to be giving you what I use, the bare bones, and this is not the best setup. If you want steady streams in places where there is not good phone service, but this is what I use. So I'll show you the app in a bit, but physically what I use is I have a tripod. I generally take 2 tripods with me. I have a larger, this is still small, right? Because it kind of fits within the hand, but this is a tripod that's extendable. So if I need to view it far away, that kind of works. And then it also is very steady, even though it's small. I can prop it up fairly easily. I've gone through a lot of tripods, but this one I bought 2 of, and I've returned at least 8 different tripods, and I've concluded that this is the tripod that I like the best. It's very easy to secure and unsecure your phone. And then the even more compact one, it's the Joby Mini Gorilla Pod, and this one's very easy because it can secure onto anywhere. It's very easy to adjust. The bad one about this is like it can only go so low. So if you want it to be very close to the base of the table, it has to be at least like 5 inches above, versus this one, it can be like almost flat on the table. So you can get more angles. And this one is really just very, very portable. And some places when you're IRL streaming, they don't let you have extendable cameras. This one, it's very easy to prove. It's very easy to prove that it's not extendable. And then there's 2 more things I carry around. One is a portable charger. You want the portable charger to have a couple different qualities. I use this one. I also purchased and returned a bunch of these before coming to the decision that I like this one. You want it to be giving you enough power for, you know, your 4 hours of stream or whatnot, and you also want it to have the ability to charge through a USB-C port, which is the fastest way to charge, and this has to stay in and out. If it's only in, it won't only be able to charge this device quickly, but it won't be able to charge your phone quickly. On top of this, you need to make sure you have this cord, which is a USB-C to a lightning port cable, so I can quickly charge my iPhone through this. And I think this recharges my phone like 3 or 4 times and fully charges it within like 20 to 30 minutes. I'm using the iPhone 13 Pro Max, and I actually don't really need to use the charger very much if I'm just streaming for an hour or 2, because the battery life on the latest iPhones are pretty good, and that works in my favor because I have yet to find an easy mic system that allows me to charge and have a mic in at the same time. And oftentimes when you're IRL streaming, it is loud outside, as you can tell here. So I use this mic, which plugs in through lightning cable cord. Lightning cable gave me the best sound quality, and when you have this on, just make sure you don't talk at this volume. You do want to talk just at a reduced volume, otherwise you'll peak out your volume. I'm sure there's ways you can adjust it, but with just the bare minimum. So yeah, I plug this in, but when you do, you don't get power. So what I do is I usually plug this in when I'm walking around in a loud area, and then when I sit down to eat or at a cafe real quick, I charge up my phone, and that's my IRL streaming setup. In terms of the app that I use to stream on my phone is the Streamlabs OBS app. This is the screen that you will see once you go in. You can easily flip between the back and front camera by just double tapping. How I have my screen set up is fairly simple. If you click the 2 bars to the top left, you can click the editor. Here you can see that my setup has the alert box to the top right, chat box to the left, and the event list to the bottom right. When I'm on this screen, when I'm actually streaming, I'll be able to see chat at a magnified view that the viewers can't see, but I can see on my side to make it a little bit easier to read chat. That magnified view of chat is only about 2 to 3 rows, so it's a little hard to read chat on your phone. So you just have to try to absorb as much as you can. But if you want to turn that on or off, you just have to click or unclick chat. And then if you'd like to see the event list, if you click the icon on the bottom right, the event list, it will show you a more detailed listing of the events. So who has followed, subscribed, bits. I use this view sometimes because the alert box is not necessarily always reliable on this app for some reason. If anyone says I missed something, I try to take a look. Last thing is I do have disconnect protection on. This basically prevents your stream from completely stopping when you lose service for a little bit or it gets a little spotty. And it doesn't make you have to restart your stream all over again, and it gives you a default BRB message. I did pay for Twitch Prime in order to get this service, which I think is $15 a year. So that is one thing I did purchase, but otherwise this app itself is free, which is very handy. And then once you're on the screen, to go live, you'll click the center button, go live. don't worry, you won't go live right away. Once you click that button, you'll have this drop down for select platform. You'll select Twitch. If that's what you're streaming to, you can stream to other services as well. You can update your stream title. You can also update the category you're streaming to. I generally keep mine as just chatting if I'm IRL streaming. And then once you set all of that up, you will click this green go live button. And that one, once you click, you're actually live. So just be careful. It won't say, are you sure you want to go live? You'll actually go live once you click that button. So just make sure your phone is looking at something that you want to display live and not looking at your credit card information. Once you're actually live, the go live button will say end stream, I believe in red. So you can end stream with a click of a button as well. Okay, so that wraps it up for showing you guys how I set up my different scenes. I feel like I've been just scampering around all over my house, setting up and taking things down, setting it up, and so the sun has set, but I really hope that was useful. And if you have any questions, leave it down in the comments below. I'll try my best to answer them soon. If this video has been helpful to you, please like and subscribe. And if you think this will be helpful to any of your friends, please go and share. I would appreciate that. And I hope you have a wonderful day, wonderful evening wherever you are in this world, and see you guys next time. Goodbye.